This story took place a long time ago. A time when people actually did what they said they were going to do. I was driving along a dirt road in the Drakensberg Mountains in South Africa. In the distance, I noticed a speck on the horizon. A speck that would teach me something that, until then, I did not know even existed. Integrity. I know it's a big word and hard to explain, but I'll try nonetheless. You see, that speck on the horizon was a very old, toothless African man with a white beard riding an old bicycle. I slowed down so that it didn't spew dust all over the poor old guy. I waved at him and he waved back as we passed. His smile was wonderfully warm and friendly. He looked about 80 and way too old to be driving a bicycle. I watched him in my rearview mirror and then looked up to see a pickup truck coming toward me at full speed. It was moving very quickly indeed. There was a dust cloud billowing out behind it. As the truck passed me, I saw 3 young guys in the front seat. One of them had a beer in his hand. I glanced at my rearview mirror and my heart almost stopped. The driver of the pickup truck was heading straight for the old man on the bicycle. I saw the old guy look nervously over his shoulder as the vehicle came up from behind. I closed my eyes because I knew they were going to try and dislodge him from his bicycle. I opened my eyes and saw them swerving toward him and missing him by inches. I could also see them gesticulating and shouting at the man as they drove past. The old man wobbled on that bike, and I saw him drive off the road and crash down a little ditch. I slowed down and turned the car around. I got to the old man and he was sitting down in the felt rubbing his knee. The front wheel of his bike was buckled and bent. The old man looked so sad. "Hey, he said, shaking his head. "What is wrong with those kids?" "Are you okay?" I asked. "I am," he replied. "It's just my heart that is sore." He told us he was a gardener at the Champagne Castle where we were staying and was on his way back to work. I put his bicycle in the trunk of the car and we took him to the hotel, which was about 3 or 4 miles away. Apparently he drove his rattletrap bike to work every day, rain or shine. As we were leaving, I gave the man about 40 Rand in cash, which was equivalent to about $40 in those days, which I had in my wallet, and a few Rand my girlfriend had in her purse. "It's to fix your bike," I said. "I'm sorry," he said. "I can't take your money." My girlfriend told him to take the money because I was just going to use it to buy drinks and get drunk anyway. The old man chuckled and told me I had a wise girlfriend. "I will pay you back," he said, smiling sincerely. "That's okay," I said. "You don't have to." But he insisted that I give him my address, and I did so on a little scrap of paper, knowing that he would lose it in about 10 seconds. Needless to say, I had the resources to find more beer money, and my girlfriend and I had a great weekend in the mountains, and I forgot about the old man. The scuffled and wrinkled white envelope arrived in my little flat in Sandringham, Johannesburg, 1 month later. It was a 1 Rand note. Yes, the old man did what he said he was going to do. I swear, at the end of every month, an envelope arrived with 1 Rand in it. No letter, no return address, just the money the old man had promised to pay me back. I was in advertising in those days, and a little over a year later, I went back to the Drakensberg to shoot another television commercial. The filming took place very close to where the old man had fallen off his bike, and I decided to go and find him and to tell him he didn't need to send me the money every month because I was doing just fine. I found out that he had retired from the hotel. They told me he lived in the village near where I first saw him, and they told me where his place was. My art director and I went to his home. It was exactly what you'd imagine. A thatched mud hut with missing window panes covered in plastic shopping bags to keep the wind out. An old African granny with grey hair answered the door. She had a doek, which was a scarf, on her head that was tied under her chin like people used to in the olden days when they had a toothache. Inside the hut, the floor was hardened mud and swept clean. There was a gas stove top, a galvanized tub with a bar of Sunlight soap in it, a rickety old table with a clean cloth on it, a little cupboard, and a bed with white sheets on bricks. That's all. It was spotless. The bar of Sunlight soap was the only thing of color in the entire place. I have such a clear vision of that bar of soap. I can see it in my mind when I close my eyes. Other than those few items, the place was spare. The woman was the old man's wife. I asked if he was around so I could tell him that he didn't have to pay the money back to me. What she told me stopped me cold. The old man had died 6 months before, and she had continued paying his debt. I was stunned. She had nothing, absolutely nothing, yet she was doing what she considered was the right thing, paying their debt back as promised. She kept his word. She continued sending me money every month, despite the fact that her husband had died and she was dirt poor. I told her I didn't need the money and gave her a little more that I had in my pocket. She was so grateful and would not stop hugging me. As I walked away from the old man's home, I turned around and saw his bicycle leaning against the side of the hut.